Hey, welcome to another Friday.
Hey, welcome back.
Yes, so we know you were looking for us, but we are here. So we hope you are tuned in and watching. And just know that sometimes we get a little technical difficulties, especially when we are not in our studio.
That's right.
And today we are not in our studio.
And we're experiencing a little bit of difficulty, but that's okay. We're here.
Yes.
That's all that matters.
All right, so let's bring up our points, Jason. And so we're not going to have the conversation that we thought we were going to have today, but we are opening up to conversation this week because things aren't ran the same way when we're not in our studio. We have a certain process and system, and we can't do that here. So what we're going to do today is we're going to come on and have a little conversation about the previous weeks and talk about just talk about some issues and concerns that you may have.
Right, where you're at, what you're going through, how you're overcoming it, how is this whole change thing working out for you? Because we know that it's not easy. So you need to work at it. So, I mean, it's been about 4 weeks now. Where are you at now? How is it going? Are you feel like you're making progress? You're stagnant? Where are you? So today's show, we had planned for the next stages, and that was to listen, relate, and elevate. Yep.
And so instead of doing that, the whole thing, we're really just going to talk today because that is a really powerful piece, and we need to be able to be in our studio to control it. So we're going to just touch on some bases.
Okay.
We're also going to let you know. So before we start with all of that, let us tell you who we are. We are Jason and Tina Marie.
Yep.
From Legendary Relationship and Loving Beyond the I Do podcast.
Host of Loving Beyond the I Do podcast.
Host of Loving Beyond the I Do podcast, where we talk about love, relationships, and everything dealing with marriage, self-motivation, self-elevation, and things of that nature. If you have not listened to our podcast, make sure you go and listen to the previous episodes as well as the upcoming episodes, where you can find it anywhere you listen to podcasts. Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts.
Wherever you can get podcasts, we're there.
Absolutely. All right. So now let us tell you also, if you have not downloaded the free ebook, go and download the free ebook. All right. So it's How to Elevate Your Marriage. And everything that we do here is about transformation. It's taking you from where you are to where you want to be in your relationship. All right. So as we stated before, we will, even though this was titled Listen, relate, and elevate. We are still doing that, but it's not going to be the show that we scheduled for tonight because it's kind of hard for us to pull up our information. It's kind of hard for us to give you the feedback that we need or the information that we need because we're not in our studio and things are a little bit different. I don't know if anyone has ever been on the road and you plan to do something and it just doesn't go right. So that's kind of the way things are when you're on the road sometimes.
Also, if you guys could do me a favor, if you can hear us okay, just let us know that you can hear us.
Yeah, we were having some issues with the
just type in the comments and let me know that you guys can hear us. That would be great.
And how does it sound? How is the audio sounding? Because we are having some issues, all right? So, but we are here because we want to be here with you, making sure that we are talking about relationships. So next week, we will come prepared. We will be diving deep into understanding. Jason, can you just bring up the points for me? So
I'm just trying. Where'd you put them at, babe?
So we're going
on the folder,
to
but where?
the slide.
Okay, the slide. Yes, you did.
All right.
All right, well, let's go ahead.
So first, let us greet everyone who's tuning in. We want to say thank you for tuning in this Friday. So who do we have there?
We have Dennis. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday,
hey,
Dennis.
Thanks,
thank you for tuning in.
Yep. Even on the replay, Dennis, I just wanted to say thank you. You commented afterwards, after the video and stuff was out, and then you really was engaging you and Kelly as well. But I just wanted to say thank you for that. And speaking of Kelly.
Oh, we got Kelly here tonight too. All right.
Yep, and you can hear us fine. Thank you very much.
Okay, and so
and then Lavanya,
right,
thanks for watching. Yeah,
I believe it was you and your husband's birthday, so we want to say happy birthday. Shout out to you guys.
Yeah.
And I see that you're enjoying yourself, so make sure with that. So next week we are going to be talking about why things haven't changed, right? And so as we said, we're here to give you the most important information we can possibly give you dealing with relationships. And so we're going to touch on and give you reasons why things haven't changed, right? Sometimes we think we've changed, but we really haven't.
Right.
So we having issues with the audio, we having issues with the video. You can tell like the eyes are down, So it's just a lot of things
Well,
going
that's
on.
just because we're out of the studio, right?
Just because we're out of the
So
studio.
things are just out of whack a little bit, but that's okay.
And we are extremely tired, so we have been really traveling and doing some things. So, not that that's an excuse, but
We're here. So
we're here,
right.
but I am extremely exhausted. But so next week, like we said, we're going to talk about why things haven't changed, right? And then we're going to talk about those issues. So we really want you guys to be prepared because mentally we think that we have done the things that require things in our lives to change, but we haven't. Right? We're thinking that we're doing the work, we're putting in the effort, but what we're looking at is that we're looking at the outside interference, trying to determine if things have changed on the inside. And really nothing changes unless we change everything on the inside. So feel free to jump in tonight and talk. Like I said, we're going to really dive deep next week. And then we're going to go into where to start that change. Right? Where to start that change. So I know most people who are not in relationships, they say that I've been working on me and I'm working on that mate when I get them. But it's hard to have a measuring stick when you have nothing to measure the amount of change that you had, because you may be changing, elevating, in your career. You may be elevating just as a better person, but you're not elevating in the areas of relationship, right? You're not elevating in the ways you previously handled situations with your previous relationships or even your past. So we're going to talk about how to start that change. Right? And then we're going to end up with, do you remember? With our slides?
Yeah.
Okay.
Of course. I mean, was this a quiz or something?
No.
All
right.
Yeah, you know I don't do good with quizzes, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we are there. So where to start?
So next week we're going to be talking about understanding where to start, right? So why things haven't changed, understanding where to start, and then we're going to end that topic conversation with
recreating ourselves. That's the fun part.
Yes.
Yeah, because we think we're recreating ourselves, but we really haven't changed our mindset in order to create that new version of ourselves.
Okay, so what I mean, and the reason why we say recreate is because up until this point, we have created the life in which we're living. We've created the relationship in which we're in. But we say because you really have to redo all of the things you've done up until this point. If your relationship, if your life, if your previous experiences in relationships are not demonstrating what you want. Right? So we really, truly, we didn't want to rush this process tonight by not having good sound or good audio or good video. We really want to take our time and be able to deliver this topic to you next week in a manner in which it can be received, because we really do want you to listen, relate, and we really do want you to elevate. And it is our jobs to make sure that we're taking relationships and our lives and marriages off of cruise control. And basically, that's what the issue is.
Right, and we want you to be totally different 365 days from now. So by the end of the year, we want you to be a completely different individual for yourself and also for your relationship.
Keep your hands down, baby. You're all in it. All right.
But I like talking my hands.
You do.
Okay.
And you're moving the thing.
I might be. Because I'm not. My studio is nice and sturdy.
It is.
But anyway, so we want you to be a totally different person. If we can, so it's a lot of homework that needs to be. There's a lot of homework that needs to be done. So each week we're going to build upon that. So this week we just wanted to kind of take a heartbeat of where you're at. How is it coming? If you guys can kind of let us know. Are you still running into challenges? Are you feel like you're coming over the hump? You feel like you at a standstill? Or did you just kind of forget the whole process altogether and be like, hey, I'll start sometime next year. This ain't really working out yet. So where are you?
And so we also want you to make a note of, now don't forget, on February 28th, Tuesday, February 28th, next week we will be putting out the link for everyone to sign up for the workshop. Now the workshop is free. And what it will be doing is next week so every week, as we said, we're having you do homework assignments. And the purpose of those homework assignments are to get you ready for your February 28th vision board workshop, right? So most people have heard of a vision board. I know we've talked about it before, about putting things on our website for the vision board, which we're going to do. And so every week we're going to tell you a little bit more of what you need to do to prepare for it. But the work that we're doing on Fridays is what you need and essential for you to be prepared for that Tuesday workshop, right? Because this is going to help give you clarity and understanding of the vision board, what to put on the vision board, the purpose of the vision board, and really how to work the vision board in your favor. So a vision board is not something for you to just put together and see. It is actually a tool that can really recreate your relationship and recreate your thinking process so that you can recreate your life. So again,
that's a way to become a better person or a different person by the end of the year. So if we get real specific about what we put on the vision board and what it actually means to you. So if you're moving in that direction, then we can say, okay, now you have a foundation. You have about 3 to 4 different things on the board or things that you're working on. Now your vision board is more personal. We're not talking about a new car or a ton of money and jewelry and all this other stuff. We're talking about things that help you out as a person. Yeah, those things that come. If you become a better person, I can guarantee you're going to make more money at your job. You're going to be a better employee. So we're talking about
elevation.
Right. We're talking about elevating. So if you can elevate yourself as an individual, then your vision board is going to look different. You're going to be able to get all those other, I call them secondary things, that you can always get those things. But first, we got to get you in order first.
And part of that is every Friday is the building tool to your vision board, right? So we are going to make sure that the information that we're giving you, the first week we ask you to make a list of the things in your relationship that are no longer working for you, or even make a list of things in your life that are no longer working for you, right? Mm-hmm. And then last week we talked about making sure that, and I don't have really my notes, but the second Friday, we talked about making sure that understanding where you are in your current situation, right? Understanding where am I at, what do I need to do, and how do I get there from where I am. And so, like I said, every Friday, we're going to make sure that we're giving you information and tools so that when you come, you have clarity. When you understand where you are and what are the blockages that you are experiencing that you're not experiencing the life that you want to have, these are the tools and techniques that we are giving you. Now, I want you to understand that part of this journey is us, but the other part is you. You have to be 100% in if you want 100% change. And the change means that not everything in our lives are working. And we are here to talk about love and relationships. And our specialty is marriage, but we deal with love and relationships because it's all general. It all relates to each other. Right. And if we can
ultimately, everybody wants to have love and happiness in their life, and you want to share it with someone.
And you want to attract that person, but you want to attract the right person. And then when you get that person, you want to be able to sustain the type of relationship that you want, not that you just happen to have because you want one. You want to experience a relationship at a certain type of standard.
Oh, for sure.
Absolutely, right? We just don't want any old type of relationship because we've had those, right? Yeah. So make sure that you're doing the work each Friday. So let's see, are we having any feedback? Yeah. So do you guys have any questions? As we said, we're going to come in, we're going to give you this. We want to hear from you tonight. And then next week, please be on time. We are going to be on time next week and making sure that we're doing all the things we need to do. I'm here to learn and to use the tools to move forward in the small steps. Absolutely.
Yeah. And that's what it takes.
That is exactly what it takes. And that's what it's all about, because so many times we want to go from 1 to 10.
Right.
We want to skip so many steps in between, and we wonder why we're not getting the outcome that we need to get. And I noticed, Dennis, that you had said you're hitting pretty much the reset button. And the reset button is what we need to start with, because that is the first step in understanding that we're not truly living up to the best expectations of our lives. We're not demonstrating what the vision we had in our minds of what we want our lives to look like when it comes to relationships, love, whether it's at work, whether it's at other people. But part of that is to understand how do we get rid of that old us and start on a new path so that we can actually be living the lives that we truly want to live. And that's what it's all about.
Right. I like that reset, because we need to reset, but it's not just going to happen. We don't have that easy button, that reset button.
Right. We just can't hit it. It just automatically
Once we
happens.
say reset, it's a lot of work that goes along with that, and that's where it's going to take us this year to kind of get ourselves in order. First, we got to understand what we need to reset. How am I going to get to this point? Where am I? So a lot of times we're trying to reset, and I'm not saying you didn't. I'm just saying I like the word reset.
Yes.
And I'm saying that we don't know where we're starting from. We don't even know where we're resetting from. So that's where we have to get a basic understanding of where we're resetting from so we can move forward. So yes, we're resetting. We're
Absolutely,
becoming better
that was
people.
really good,
Yeah.
Dennis. Absolutely.
Yeah, and that's the main thing. You know, like you said before, I read your post that you said that, hey, I might be just stepping away from social media. Right, whatever it takes. We have all types of triggers and things of that nature. So whatever it takes for us to reset, that's what we need to do, and that's an individual thing. So again, does reset go on your vision board? But you have to drill down on it. Just reset by itself isn't it. What are you going to reset? How are you going to go about it? And that's why we need to do the work prior to putting together the vision board, so you can really have a deep understanding of what you need to be concentrating on for the next 11 months.
And also, so many times we hear of the right things to do, but we're never told how to do it or the application and applying it in our lives. And that's what we're here to do. We're not only here to give you that beautiful cliches that we hear, but we're here to actually give you the tools and the techniques. And I'm glad that you said that, Dennis, that you're here to listen and get the tools and understands how to do it, because what we're doing is definitely in the purpose of changing lives, right? And we have to understand that everything that needs to be changed in our lives ultimately begins and ends with us. All right, so are there any more comments that we need to do? So we thank again everyone for tuning in. We will be back in our own studio next Friday, hopefully, if we're not back on the road again. And we really want you guys to tune in, and because it's going to be such a phenomenal, awesome lesson. And don't forget, as this week goes on, we're going to put out the sign up, the registration form for you guys to register for our Tuesday, February 28th workshop on the vision board. And the vision board is specifically dealing in our lives, our relationship, resetting our thinking, because our thinking is what creates our physical world. All right? I'm still a Facebook line stepper, but it's frustrating my journey to improve myself. Yes, when I don't know where my relationship is going. Should I work on just myself or work on myself and my relationship if unsure of the direction? But I'm ready either way.
Right. Great. First thing, I love everything you said. Yes. But if you really want that relationship, you start with yourself, and the relationship will take care of it. Remember, I said that you become a better employee if you improve yourself. That's all the way around. If you want a better relationship, then you start to work on the things you need to work on for yourself. And then once you become a better person, you can't help but become a better partner. That's just the byproduct of you improving yourself. So,
and the thing is that because the change starts with us, and when we start on us, we then change all of the ugly habits that we have conditioned ourselves to. Right. So now if you no longer have those habits, then therefore you're not creating that drama in your life. Right. So that's why we say it begins with you, understanding that everything begins with you. And as you're doing sometimes people want, as you said, Dennis, you're doing small steps, right? Sometimes we want to do a really quick fix. We want to change one thing about ourselves, and then we want to go look and see if our mate has changed so that we can jump in and be happy. But that's not how it's done. Right. Exactly the way you said, Dennis. It takes small steps. It takes the change beginning with you, and it takes for you to be intentional and deliberate about what it is you want in your life, which means that you can't, most people start a diet, right? And then for those who really mentally make the decision to do it, they succeed in it.
Right.
But those who just want it but don't want to work for it, then they find themselves back in the same boat. Right. So the whole point of it is that if we really want better lives, and it's not just about the relationship, it's about the relationship with ourselves first. If I enjoy who I am as a human being, and I'm happy and loving myself, then it makes it easier for me to express that in my relationship, to have a better relationship, and to understand what a healthy relationship looks like. Right. And that's part of all of the work that we're doing. We're understanding, uncovering, as we say, it's like an onion. We are making sure that we are peeling back the layers to see where the stink comes from, right? What do we need to change? Where do we need to change it? And how do we need to change it? And that is part of the elevation. But remember, we said elevation takes honesty. It also takes work and dedication, intention, and being deliberate. So that's what it's all about. And we thank you for your comments, Dennis. We thank you that you're tuning in. We thank you that you are being honest, because that's where it starts.
That's where it starts.
So many people and so many relationships, they want to lie about where they are. Right? They don't want to and that's why, as a community, as marriage as a whole, that's why marriage is always, most of the time, not being at the forefront of the things we need to talk about, and then ending up in divorce, because we are ashamed. We are afraid to be truthful and honest about
sure.
what it is we need to know in order to make the relationships work. So we do appreciate your comments. We do definitely appreciate your honesty.
Right.
And so next week, as we said, please make sure that you tune in, because it is going to be such a powerful show. And I didn't want to rush through it tonight. And I know I kind of sprung this on Jason last minute because we're having audio and video and things like that. But we definitely want to bring you this information so that it can resonate with you and resonate. Thank you.
Not resonate.
so that you can relate to it, right. And so that you can understand what you need to do to elevate in your life.
So I just want to go back to the whole, do I start with my relationship or do I start with
myself?
Myself. So if you show up differently for yourself and as yourself, then you're a totally different person over in a relationship. So now the relationship is different.
Yes.
So you're working on both at the same time.
And sometimes and I want to say sometimes it's harder to work on both. Mm-hmm. Sometimes we need to work on ourselves, because what we do, as I said before, we change one thing about ourselves and then we try to go to our mate to get the validation, mm-hmm. and see if things have changed. And when we don't get the response that we think we want, mm-hmm. then we revert back to our old selves.
Right.
So sometimes most of the work has to be done with you first. Mm-hmm. It has to be done with you understanding yourself and being a healthy enough person to go and become and create a healthy relationship.
Yeah, you have to start with a good foundation. And
yes.
This is what we're doing now.
Yes.
So if you're on solid footing, we're good. So we just got to get ourselves in order. And that's the work that we don't normally do. And that's why we have so many issues, and then we have so many failed relationships. And we may not be the best employee, or we may not be the best sibling, right? So all these things play a key. So if we can get ourselves in order, slow to react, things of that nature, not blowing off, getting triggered by certain things, and that's affecting your relationship. All these little things that's kind of sending you overboard, and you're wondering why I'm struggling in this relationship so much. It's just because we're being triggered and we don't know why. So we need to go and figure out who we really are. And that's what the whole goal is here.
And to rewire the things that trigger us,
exactly.
And to have a better understanding.
I can't wait till we get into rewiring. Actually, just wiring, understanding what's going on with us, why are we here, why are we doing the things that we're doing. That's going to be kind of exciting, but also, an eye-opening thing. So I can't wait to get into that. And then when we go to rewire, oh my goodness, that's going to be great.
So Lavanya had said, thank you. You're welcome, Lavanya. Hope you guys are enjoying yourself. It was further up.
About the birthday wish.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So Kelly said, you want to read?
No, go ahead, babe.
I'm understanding I've been saying yes to decisions I should be saying no to. Oh,
yes.
Very good, Kelly. Amen.
Oh, we all doing that.
Yes, resetting my thoughts, actions, and reactions along with bad habits begin with me. It's intentional.
Yes, intentional process.
It's an intentional process. My opinion layers are deep.
Onion.
Okay. Yeah, see, that's myself. My onion layers are deep and are bringing about healing and self-awareness. All right now. Whew. Yes.
Yeah.
And most of the times, what we don't realize is that the habits in life are the habits in our relationship. Mm-hmm. We don't connect the two. We think that the relationship is the relationship based on whatever it is. And what it is that we have created a habitual relationship on how we interact with each other, how we communicate with each other, mm-hmm. how we respond to each other. Mm-hmm. And we have created this over time. And even though we talk about we don't want a certain type of relationship, this is exactly what we have created.
Yep.
And so, as you said, Kelly, peeling back your onion layers, it takes a lot, because so often, like you said, right, we're saying yes to the things we really should be saying no to, or vice versa. We're saying no to the things we really should be saying yes to, because we don't want to put in the work, or we don't want to be honest with ourselves and understand the things that we should say yes to or no to. It's because it's unfamiliar to us.
Right.
So therefore, our reaction is going to be the same thing. Again, the habits of what we have done in the past that create the same future over and over and over again. And we wonder why we find ourselves not being able to get out of this loop of That's the same mess that happened last time. People talk about, well, why do I keep attracting the same man, or why do I keep having these same issues in my relationship? What you're doing is your habits have created your past, and so therefore, if you don't change something, the habits are going to dictate the same type of future, whether it's with a different face, a different name, a different person, is going to create the same thing, because that's the only thing we know. That's why it's important to understand where all this comes from, how to change it, and then how to start the recreating of the life and the relationship that we truly do want to have.
Yeah, Kelly.
All right, Kelly says, I'm slowly seeing and acknowledging my triggers. Yes, rewriting those triggers will be helpful.
Yep. And that's the thing. We didn't even know. I didn't even understand what a trigger was. Why am I doing this? I'm doing it because it's my decision. Half the things I'm doing weren't my decisions. It was because of society, because of how people felt. I didn't want people to feel a certain way about me.
So what people told you was the correct way to do it.
Then I'm saying yes to things that I shouldn't be saying yes to, doing things to make other people happy because I want them to view me a certain way. So all this creates all these different problems. Now I am a person, I'm a shell of myself because I'm not even liking who I am. Right? I'm doing things because I'm trying to make other people happy. I'm disliking myself. I'm mad at myself. Now I'm projecting that onto maybe my mate or anyone else that I come in contact with. So it makes you not a nice person or whatever the case is. So you have to get in control of that. You have to get in control of your decision making. You have to get in control of your life, how people how you view people, how people look at you and how you feel about that. You have to get beyond all of that, and you have to peel back all those onion layers and get real with yourself. First, you got to love yourself, you got to like yourself, you got to want to be around yourself, and you have to be happy
with find out who you are.
Right, you have to be happy with the decisions that you make, and make some decisions for yourself.
All right, so we have another comment, and we thank you guys. As we said, we thank you. So we're just going to spend this time tonight, a little time talking with you guys, and as we said, you should be looking up there. We're looking down here. Okay. All right. Then it says, I've never been to relationship counseling or therapy, but I'm going soon. Also, therapy for past trauma during youth and military service. It all ties together. I think it does. It does. It does. It creates what we think is. And so next week again, we're going to be talking about reality versus the possibilities, right? Yeah. So we have created from our past these things now that we're living over and over again, thinking that they are the reality, when truly they're not. It's just that we have put our focus on them, so they have become our reality, and we don't realize that the reality in which we see today can be totally different tomorrow. So all of those things definitely play a part. And we talk about understanding that it is okay to seek counseling. It is okay to seek therapy. It is okay. The point is that if you stop seeking, that means you stop living. And if you stop living, what's the purpose of having a breath, right? So nobody just wants to exist. We want to live and thrive. And that's the whole purpose of understanding that sometimes we can't solve the problem from the same level of consciousness in which it was created. So sometimes we have to go outside of ourselves to find out what it is that we're doing wrong, to get a better understanding and to pick and choose what works for us, right? To understand where I need to begin and that there are some changes that need to be done. And if I can't stress anything else, the biggest thing is change. We have to change. And I like I said, we're going to get into it next week. But if I could just leave it right there, is that we have to change. And I'm going to tell a quick story because this is a part. So as I've gotten older and as I reflect back in my beginning of our marriage, I noticed that over the years, I saw some things about myself that I didn't like, and I had to change them, right? And so the things that I saw about myself wasn't necessarily visible to me. It was because I saw that it was something that was not very helpful in my relationship as a wife. And so I saw how it affected Jason. I saw his reaction to certain things I did. I saw how we used to communicate with each other, right? And so instead of me getting frustrated with the process of, well, why am I not being heard? Why am I feeling unloved? I had to kind of take a deeper look and say, what is it about this situation, or us having this, an argument over and over again about different things, when truly it was about the same thing. It's the same argument over and over again. But because neither one of us was willing to change or to understand that the change process had to begin, we kept creating those same problems in our relationship.
Yeah.
And when I realized that I had to change as a person, he didn't ask me to. It wasn't like, hey, this is ugly about you, you need to change it. It was something that I had to become honest with about myself, in order to know that if I change, then this whole situation and us dealing with each other and arguing over it all changed. And I had to realize, like, I had to be honest with myself and say, what is it that I'm doing wrong? What is it that I'm not understanding about myself in order to keep creating this conflict in our relationship?
It's interesting. So with you doing that made me react differently. So then it made me think, am I really in control of my reactions? Or am I reacting based on how the other person is? So it made me now do some soul searching as far as who am I? Am I just the person that blows when the wind blows? You act this way, I react. You act this way, I react. So I said, well, maybe I want to react a certain way all the time. Maybe I want to truly be me. So maybe I need to look at myself now a little differently, because I'm not sure of who I really am based on you changing. Now I'm changing based on your change. So then it took some work on me. So it opens up that whole dynamics of, you improving yourself.
Yeah.
I see a change, I react, then I say, hey, listen, I need to do some soul searching because I need to become a better person. So that's how that whole dynamic started to work out. It's good. I'm glad you found the error of your ways and everything. Now you got yourself kind of straightened out.
Right.
So,
All right, let's go to the comments.
Yeah.
So definitely, the thing is that we have to recognize that there's some things that we do need to change.
Yep.
And we need to understand where that comes from.
No,
That's
that's
crazy. That crazy hamster wheel. I'm getting off.
I'm with you. I'm jumping off right behind you. Because I've seen this ride. It's the same. I'm seeing the same stuff over and over again.
Absolutely.
Yep. It's time to get off that thing.
So if you guys are late tuning in, which I see that we have a couple more
let me
views.
get to this, because this is pretty good.
All right. Yes, I'm social media famous.
There you go.
I'm working.
My work environment is famous.
Okay, but I want to know who I truly am. Yes,
and that's where you want to be famous. You want to know exactly who you are.
So for those of you who may be tuning in late, Jason.
Just scared.
Okay, so Jason and I are out of town. We're not in our studio.
Hey, Earl.
We were experiencing some technical difficulties, some audio and visual, but we did want to be here because we were also out of town last week. So we did want to be here today, Friday, but we will be back in our studio this coming up Friday, and we are going to have a fabulous show. We did not want to shortchange you guys because it is some really good information and tools that you guys need to hear and use, and we did not want to rush through it. So tonight's conversation is just about touching bases and having a conversation.
Right, seeing where you're at, seeing how life is going. We're a month into this year,
into this new year,
right? And now we're going to see where we're going, because this is a marathon, right? So we're going all the way to December. So we're going to show up differently in December as we did in January. So we're a different person in January, and we're going to be a really super fabulous person in December, right? So it's going to take us 12 months to become that super fabulous person, and by that time we're ready for this relationship. We can build, we can do, and we can have all these different things. I mean, because I want you to be a better man, I want you to be a better father, uncle, brother, all those things, and it just takes.
Who are you talking to?
I'm just talking to people. I mean, that's the whole goal, from a man's perspective.
From a man's perspective?
Yeah.
So I should say I want to
I can
be a
only
better
speak.
woman.
So let me get this. I can only speak from a man's perspective because I'm a man.
Okay, all right. So from a woman's perspective, I want you to be a better person all the way around. Whatever it is, wife, mother, career woman, whatever it is.
It's not that much stress to be. I mean, it's a lot to be a woman. Don't let me put my foot in my mouth. But it's a lot of stress to be a man. So it's a lot to go along with that. I'm not saying anything that has nothing to do with you.
All right. So
you.
basically, Vicki, we're thank you for tuning in tonight. Thank you for coming in with us. Also, if you didn't hear, don't forget we will let the registration out this week for everybody to register for our Tuesday, February 28th Vision Board Workshop. And as we were saying, the whole purpose of our Fridays is to get you prepared to have clarity and understanding in creating the vision board. Right. It's not just something that you sit down and do it quick and paste a couple of pictures on, and there's a lot of imitation vision boards. Mm-hmm. But your vision board should be created with feeling, emotions, attention, intentions. Mm-hmm. It's created in a way that you truly want to elevate your life, and that's the whole purpose of it. It's not a wish, a hope, or God, this is what I see every day, so hopefully it's more than that, and that's what it should. And so our purpose is to help you to understand the purpose of the vision board, to help you to create the vision board, and to help you really work the vision board. Right. Because over our lifetime, the vision board has truly been a very good tool that has helped us in our relationship, and we still use it, and our kids use it. Yep. So I know it makes me so proud when I used to go to my son's home, right, his apartment, and I would see little signs on the wall, mm-hmm. and I would see little things that he was working on to continue to remind himself of what the task, the path he needed, the task he needed to stay on hand with, right? Mm-hmm. Things he needed to do to become the person he wanted to become, or to accomplish the things he wanted to accomplish. Because sometimes life tells us lies. Life tells us stories that we believe and they're not true. So we have to make sure that we are intentional in what we're creating the life for ourselves. So vision boards I think, is a dynamic tool. Yep. And when they're used right, they're very effective. But
this is like a no fluff type of vision board. We're really going to get into.
This is about what you want in your relationship. This is for you.
This is in your life. This is truly for you, becoming a better person, and everything else will follow. But we're going to make sure that you're the main focal point on that vision board. Absolutely. And how to make you a better person and make your life better.
Okay, so hey, Vicki and Earl, so what is our next comment? So tonight we're just taking questions, comments, interacting with you guys to let you know we're still here, even though we've been traveling and we're exhausted, and we're still doing the work, and so we're making things better for our course. We're making things better for our Friday Night Lives and for you. Thank you, guys. I actually started expressing my feelings publicly. All right. I was raised to believe men should never show weakness or emotions. And that's another level of that onion we need to peel back, right? Yep. Unfortunately, that has my blood pressure at 172 over 1.
Yeah, let that stuff out. Yeah, don't hold on to that stuff, man. Get rid of that. That's the stress and everything else. You're trying to hold on to it, to live up to an expectation that you can't live up to. It is not really who you are. If you're an emotional being, be an emotional being. Be true to yourself.
And the real truth is that being able to express your emotions, talk about your emotions, and feel free and vulnerable in doing that, that really creates you to be a better person, an all-around person where, as you said, Dennis, you're not, what is that song where, smiling faces tells lies, we're putting up this facade of a person of who we are. So how can we even start a relationship if we don't even know who we are, right? If we can't even be true and honest to who we are as a person. I would hate to have to be in a relationship and have to try to keep up every day this facade of a person who I pretended to be, and that's not who I am.
Some relationships are like that too.
And that's why.
And that's stressful.
And that exactly. Yep. And the stress is not even the relationship, but you putting that stress on the relationship by being something that you're not. Yeah. It's so much easier to be the real you. And if you have to hide who you are, then that's not the relationship you need to be in. Yeah. And that's point blank. We all need to show up into our relationships who we are. And we will attract to us that in which we want if we are being true and honest of who we are and what it is we desire in our relationships. Yeah. So thank you again, Dennis. You guys have some awesome feedback. We really, truly appreciate it. And if we can't stress anything else, that all relationships, the basis of it starts with you, right? Our relationship.
It does, because you're like number one in all the relationships that you're in.
The same person that goes from relationship to relationship. The one common denominator is you. Yeah. And if you can't get it together, then you're going to continue to experience the same thing. And there's no, we talked about vulnerability. We talked about being true to yourself. We talked about being honest.
And you know what? A lot of times that's not our fault. You know, we just jump into
As
this
men.
life. Well,
As people?
As people.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. I'm talking to the peeps now.
Okay. In
All right.
general. Okay.
As people, it's really not our fault.
It's not.
I mean, because somebody threw this adulting on us, like, just here, go, you're an adult now, and you go figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we had to do. And we just kind of pick and choose and try to find a way. We'll take a little bit from this person, a little bit from that person, but we've never really been in the driver's seat of, you know, being an adult, learning how to be an adult. So don't get so, you know, down on yourself. Like, this is the time you start to figure out who you are, what you like, how to get rid of stuff. Like, you know, like with blood pressures and things, stress is the number one killer, right?
Yes, absolutely.
But stress doesn't have a feeling or anything like that. When you go, the doctor says you're stressed out. Well, what does that feel like? Well, everything else, your body is out of tilt because you're all stressed out. So you have to, like, learn to relax and do all this other things. So there's a lot of different things that you need to do to get yourself in, you know, to get yourself in order. So don't get so, you know, down. And I know you're not, but don't get down. You have to learn how to be an adult. You have to learn how to see how life works for you. You have to make life work for you, and that's what we're doing.
On your terms.
On your terms, right. Because like I said, if you're emotional, be emotional, right? So you're only going to attract to you who you are. And
someone who understands that.
Right.
So, right.
Right. So in your whole entire life, not just a mate. Well, I'm not talking about a mate, but I'm talking about just all the way around. New friends, because because when you become a new you definitely gonna lose some friends, and it's okay, right? You're gonna become a new person. It's gonna be a new you. That's fine. So some people are gonna fall by the wayside, but then you have some other people.
That's what that's the best thing. We have, just like we have to shed the onion layers. Those onion layers are
people,
old habits,
places,
people,
things,
their friends, absolutely, relatives, and it's nothing wrong with loving people from a distance.
Right, exactly.
All right.
All right.
So
I've had to do that.
Right, and so. You know, I hate to repeat again of what we're doing, but so you guys, if you want to, I'm like,
go back and watch the video.
Yeah, go back and watch this video, because when you tune in late, then I have to repeat it. But
nope. All right. So Vicky said, "Great, thank you so much, Vicky." And Annette said, "Nice." Yes. Hey, Annette, how are you?
Yeah, good to see you tuning in. Yep. All right. So, guys, we can't stress this point enough, is that the relationships that we create have all come from our beliefs and what we think a relationship should be. Mm-hmm. Whether that's not speaking up, whether that's not showing his emotions, whether that's not realizing that some of the habits that we have learned we need to stop doing, even though they're habits. Things that feel familiar to us may be something that we need to get rid of. Even though it's familiar, doesn't mean it's right. Doesn't mean it's working for us. So that's part of the things that we're going through over these next couple of weeks as we approach this vision board. So make sure that you guys sign up for the Tuesday. Tell a friend. Yep. But the thing is that you can't sign up if you haven't done the work. The whole point of
it's not going to work for you. It's not going to work for you.
The whole point of the Friday nights are to help you, to give you the homework, to give you the things that you need to make the clarity, to make the connection, to create the vision board.
Right.
So we're not skipping any steps. If you have not saw New Year, New You, go back and watch it. If you haven't watched Elevation Takes Honesty, go back and watch it. And so next week, as I said, we're talking about, so even though we titled this week, Listen, Relate, and Elevate, this week, because we're out of town, experiencing difficulties, we're going to do that Friday, this Friday coming up. That is going to be a powerful Friday. That is definitely going to set you up in the right direction for the tools that you need in creating this vision board. So don't just sign up and show up for your vision board on February 28th if you haven't done the work, because now you're sitting in front of this board with all these things that we're going to tell you to get and do, and then you're like, okay, I don't know what to put on here. Or I'm going to put something that's superficial, right? And so many times we want things that are so immediate, so something that's really not even
what society says
important.
Right, what society says.
And if we realize that if we go deeper, right, the whole point of a vision board is, to me, in our experience, is to understand who you are as a person. Right. What is it that you truly want, and to be able to express that so that you can create that.
That's exactly.
And that eliminates all of that uncertainty, all of that that unwavering, all of that I don't know
stuff.
Yeah. And the point is that we have to be true to ourselves in order to, if we want something, we have to know what it is we want. And part of that process is eliminating the things that we don't want and that do not serve us. So we have to be able to recognize that and understand that.
Yep.
I'm starting here first. I need work, work, work. Thank you, Dennis. And then so if you were the first one that said I'm ready to elevate, it wasn't Kelly.
Yeah.
You guys are awesome. I truly appreciate it. And
yeah, we all need work, and that's the part of being honest, right? So we come in and say we need to be
okay.
We need
So
to work.
wait. So you say you need work, but the thing is, are you willing to do the work? That's the thing.
Oh, now that's the question.
That is the equivalent of that, because so many people say I need it. I need to do it. Like people say I need to lose weight, right? I need to communicate better. I need to be able to express myself better.
I just wish we could have gave them some more of those things from what we had for this week. I can't say, but I'm just gonna say
right.
that
So it's a shame that we really.
But that's all right. Next week is going to you guys. We can go ahead and give you these final points, but. When we talk about work and what we want and stuff like that, and what we're actually doing is something totally different.
Don't stop and don't give up, Dennis, because what happens in life when we decide to change? We get some resistance. We get some kickback. We get some, wait a minute, who the heck are you? You don't belong here.
We get a bunch of tests.
We get a bunch of tests. And the thing is that's what I mean by when it's familiar. If you're trying to change and you don't feel some disruption in your body and your soul and in your environment, that means you are really not changing. Right. You are doing the lip service. So be prepared, Dennis. Don't give up. Don't just say, I need to do the work. Let's make it personal. Say, I am going to do the work. Not that I need it, but I am going to do it. I'm going to stick to it, because I guarantee you, I would bet my $100 on it that once you change all those things in your life, guarantee your blood pressure will go way down.
Yep.
Because now you are no longer dealing with the stresses of life the way you used to.
Yep.
So when you change as a person, as I said, it's the changing of the thought that creates the changing in the physical world. And once we understand that connection, then the things, as Kelly said, those triggers don't even matter, because they're not even connected anymore. They can keep pushing them and pushing them and pushing them, and it doesn't even matter. And so therefore those old triggers will disappear, because now they no longer work. Whether they're from people, whether they're from situations, whatever it is, we are here to elevate, and that means the person as a whole. And that starts from the bottom as to who am I, being able to understand yourself, being able to change what you need to change in your thinking process, in your feeling process, in your emotions and your reactions, so that you can create the life you want to live.
It look like you giving some of the stuff that we was going to talk about.
I'm not. All right.
It feels like it now. It feels like it. Okay.
I'm not giving anything away. All right. So Dennis says, yes, my partner always says, be patient, and sometimes being patient is scary. Absolutely. Because we think we want to know the answer now. We think it's going to make it better. I want it now. No, I'm not going to be patient. And yes, I'm ready to put in the work slowly. I probably need to fight harder for myself and my value as a person.
There you go.
There is no fight.
Yeah.
There is no fight, Dennis. That's what we have to stop. We have to watch the words that we use.
Yep.
The ideas that society. We have to start using new ways. We have to start using new words and thinking new ways of what used to be. Right. We can't think and speak the old way. So when I say nothing is hard, if you say it's hard, it's going to be hard. Right. We have to understand there's going to be some pushback. There's going to be some, wait a minute, who are you? What are you doing? But it's not going to be hard, because once you make the decision, that's why the very first week I asked everyone, are you ready to be ready, 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 to be ready? And if you're not, then like we told you, keep on walking. And so Dennis, you said, I'm ready. And you have demonstrated you're ready. And you're ready to be ready. But you have to understand, it's not hard, it's just different. Right? And so when we say it takes work, people misunderstand work. W-O-R-K. They think that means that it has to be hard. Work doesn't have to be hard. It just has to be diligent. We have to stick to it. We have to be persistent in what it is we want. And again, I can't say it enough. We have to be intentional. We have to know that it's going to take some work, and the work is just you doing it, but it doesn't have to be hard. It's all a mindset. We have to recondition our mindset as to how we look at things. as you said, Dennis, you want it used to be, I want it now, I want it immediately. That's the problem with a lot of people. They want immediate gratification without putting in the work that it requires, being diligent, being intentional, and being on point. So we're not going to say that it's going to be hard. We're going to say that it's going to be work that you're willing to do because you know that the outcome is going to make you a better person.
Yeah, I feel like you're giving some of the point.
That's no. I never do that.
All right, I'm just saying. I'm not feeling that way. No, it's good stuff, but yeah, it was close though. You teetered in the line.
Teetered in the line.
Yeah.
Okay, so next week, guys. I mean, I cannot stress this enough.
Yeah.
Next week we're coming full blown with why am I not changing, or why haven't things changed? Right? Was that why haven't things changed? We're going to talk about where to start to get that change. And then we're going to end up on how to recreate your life or your relationship.
Yeah.
And so there you go.
Yep. Things not changing.
Yep. So that's next week. Things not changing, right? And what? I can't see the little small one.
It says...
Pull it up. I'll make it big.
Okay.
See, this will happen when you're out of your studio on a very small screen, right? So why aren't things changing, right? Things not changing. So next week we're talking about why aren't things changing, and it all starts with our thinking process. Thinking and feeling.
Oh, right? Wait till we get to that feeling, baby.
All right, and then after we give you some points on this topic, so on that, then we're going to follow that up all next week with understanding where to start.
That's the thinking and feeling process.
So I know a few Fridays back we said that we are here to give you what you need to get you to where you want to be. And that is everywhere, because when you elevate personally, you elevate everything in your life. But we always have to remember that it starts with us. It doesn't matter. There's no playing the blame game. There's no finger pointing. It all begins and ends with me. It doesn't matter what happened yesterday.
That's right.
It doesn't matter who mistreated me. It doesn't matter what they said about me. It doesn't matter how Jason may not have done what I wanted him to do, or I felt as though he didn't love me enough. It doesn't matter what yesterday, these examples.
Oh, okay. All right.
It doesn't matter what happened yesterday. Only thing that matters is that right here, right now, I'm willing to do what it takes to realize that I am in charge of my own life, getting it to the next level.
Yep, and then we're going to talk about recreating ourselves. So, and that's just gratitude. So, I mean, that's going to set you up real good for your vision board. I mean, this is a good start. You're going to get a good foundation, a good understanding where you need to go, what you need to be looking at, and what you need to focus. So
and then go ahead.
So our vision board is our championship. This is what it's going to take for us to get to that championship, right? And this is all the practices we need to do, all the plays, how to regroup after a loss, all of those different things, just to use a sports analogy.
He loves sports.
I do. Because you can learn a lot. There's a lot of life lessons in sports, right? Yes. So, and how to overcome and how you react, so I can go on for days to talk about that. So in the end, that's going to be our roadmap, our how we're going to get to be that person. And along the way, that's what we're going to talk about. In the end, this is ultimately what I want. So how do I get there? And then we're going to work on bridging that gap to where you are now to the ultimate goal of being the person you need to be.
And I know lots of times people feel as though, well, I haven't been married long enough, or I'm not married, or I've been married 10, 15 years. Like, I pretty much know what it takes. And when we get into that mindset, then it helps me to understand that we're looking at society as a way of understanding that that things just happen, right? Like, I mean, it's like, well, I know everything. And like I used to tell my kids, the person that knows everything realizes truly that they know nothing. Right? When I used to tell my kids this all the time. When I was 21, I truly, honestly felt like I thought I knew everything there was to life. I knew that
I get a like? I think all of us probably felt that way. My parents were not that bright when I was 21 years old.
It didn't even have anything to do with my parents.
I know that because I knew more than them. I just thought I knew everything. I thought I was in control of my life and I was making some good decisions.
I thought that my habits, my behaviors, my way of communicating, the way I thought that I knew it all. And it was through understanding and being open to lessons and teachings and realizing that the universe is always trying to show you that you do not know it all. And so I'm just glad that I was open and receptive to the ways that, hey, look, Missy, you don't know everything. And so I'm glad that I was the person that didn't say I know it all. Even in our relationship, when people, it's just that you have to be open to learning. As I said, Jason and I, we realized that there were things that were outside of our control, and how do we handle them, right? Through growth, through understanding, through learning. So a lot of these things that we are bringing to you is not mere nice cliches, as I said, or repetition. This is knowledge that we have actually applied and learned in our relationship that has just taken us from wow, mind-blowing of understanding how to get from point A to point B. When you're at A, you're like, you don't see any other way.
Right.
So these are things that we have definitely done, that we know work. And as I said, what we realize is that when you put in the effort and you make the intention, things do change. But you have to be intentional in that change. So what did Dennis say?
That was it. That was the same one that Dennis said. Yep.
So if you tuned in late and you didn't get to hear all that, go back and look at the video. But we will see you guys back next Friday. Or do you say this Friday? Because this is Friday now. And that's always a conversation. Do you say this Friday or is it next Friday? That's always
a conversation you have.
So we're going to see you this Friday, next Friday. So you pick whatever terminology it is.
The next Friday that comes up after
Friday
this one.
Friday the 10th. Isn't that it?
I think it's the next Friday. I don't know.
Friday the 10th. I think that's Friday the 10th. So we're going to see you Friday the 10th at 6 o'clock Central Standard Time. What that means is 6 o'clock if you are in Chicago time, 6 o'clock if you are in the Central, and then 7 o'clock if you're on the East Coast, and then 2 hours before if you're on the West Coast. So we will see you all at 6 o'clock Central Standard Time. That means Chicago. And hey, if you guys have any questions in before time, let us know.
Yep.
Be looking out for the sign up for the vision board.
It's free.
The vision board workshop will run for 1 hour. Over the days, we're going to give you, over these next couple of Fridays and even during the week, we're going to let you know some of the things that you need to pick up to help create your vision board. So right now, we are actually trying to see if we can get a partnership with someone so that you can purchase some things that actually we have found to be very helpful in creating the vision board. But if not, we can, hey, it's always plan B. Things always work, right? It's always the little things. Right. So again, the vision board, Tuesday, February 28th, sign up for it. It's a workshop. It's absolutely free. You have to have the link to join. And if you want to be part of that vision board, and where we're giving clarity, understanding, and creating a vision board that is going to work for you, because we know it works if you work it.
That's the only way it works. It only works if you work it.
Reverend Dr. Johnny Coleman. And so making sure that you're tuning in on Friday so that you can be ready with clarity and the tools and everything you need to create that board. All right, so is there any other comments?
One last thing before Dennis gets out of here and we get a happy weekend.
I'm working 3 hours. Worth watching and missing sleep. Thank 100%. You, Dennis. Thank you. I'm so glad.
Thank you so much for investing in yourself, for loving yourself, for just being there and showing up for yourself, because it is important. And believe me, brother, we're going to be totally different by the time we get to December.
All right. So
I just love the work.
So I'm going to leave you guys with this. So from now until next Friday, even though this is a little bit of next week, I just want you guys to do this. In every decision that you make, in every thought that you think, in every action that you take, I want you to ask yourself, does this make me feel good? If it doesn't make you feel good, then let it go. All right? So everything that you do, say, think, every action, ask yourself before you do it, before you think it, before you say it, does this make me feel good? Does it make me feel good? Is it worth my time, energy, and effort? If it's not, let it go and replace it with another thought. So that is going to be the tip for today.
Ooh. See, I told you we were going to give some tips. I told you couldn't hold off till next week. I knew it.
All right, so we have one more comment.
Reverend Jackie.
All right, you are looking good and teaching truth. Yes,
Thank you so much, Reverend Jackie. We really appreciate that.
So, and as they say, the truth shall set you free.
Set you free?
Yep. The
truth shall set you free. You're still tired?
I know, it's still time.
That's all right. You get a lot of stuff out.
But it set me free.
Yeah,
so, guys,
exactly.
So, Dennis, Kelly, Vicky, Reverend Jackie, everyone for this week, and all my other people. So is there any names that I missed on the hearts? I know we always tell you guys to send us up a heart or something. Hey, Mark is in. All right.
Mark.
Good to see you, Mark. Glad you were tuning in. Lavanya. So this week, guys, so we are going to come back Friday to give you guys today's lesson because we're out. Mm-hmm. But tune in Friday. It's going to be a powerful session. But this week, during the meantime, we want you to make sure that you are asking yourself, this thought that I'm thinking, this feeling that I'm feeling, this emotion that I'm having, is it bringing me joy? Ooh. All right? Is it worth thinking? If it's not, if it's an old trigger, as Kelly said, if it's something that used to trigger you, ask yourself, so I'm getting ready to react. I'm getting ready to say something that is a habit in me responding this way. Me thinking this thought or saying what I'm getting ready to say, does it bring me joy? Does it make me happy? Is it satisfying? If it's not, let it go. So that's where we're starting. All right. So we'll see you guys back here next Friday when we're back in our own studio with all of the good stuff that we have prepared for you, ready to elevate into that vision board for February 28th. Have a great Friday. Anything else, Jason?
I think that's it, guys. Be ready. Let's hit the ground running. Let's go ahead and...
You tired? You seem a little tired. Give me more enthusiasm.
Oh, let's be ready. Let's be exciting.
That's right.
But no, let's be ready. Let's hit the ground running. Let's go ahead and be the people that we need to be by the end of the year. Let's go ahead and create our vision for ourselves. And let's go ahead and implement that vision. Not only just create it, not put it on a piece of paper, but we just really need to become the person that we were destined to be.
Live the life that
we're yearning to
of.
Be on the inside. Yes. We got to let that person out. We're gonna live our best life. We're gonna be true to ourselves, and we're gonna make everyone around us just that much better.
All right. So you guys, as always, we're
in it to win it.
Have a great weekend.
Till next week, guys.